So I teach intuition. So my specialty is helping people connect to their knowing and their core. So my sense is most of you probably felt some kind of urge or knowing to be here. Otherwise you wouldn't be here, right? So that's what we're going to work with. We're going to work with that deep inner knowing that we all have and connect with it. And as you do, you'll notice your confidence starts to increase, your self-esteem, and also your productivity. So we're going to specifically work with your business. So can you guys just give me a raise of hands about where you guys are at in your business? Are you just starting or are you just learning? So you're all just learning about ready to launch into a business. Is that correct? Is that where we're at?
I'm restarting.
Restarting.
I've been on medical leave for a couple of years and restarting.
Okay, so starting fresh. Okay, but the whole room is pretty much just wanting to eventually create a business, right? From the skills they've learned in acupuncture. Right? Okay, cool. All right. You got the acupuncture training. That's the school's job. My job is help you make it practical. Okay? So what I specialize in is I help people use their intuition practically to allow what they want to come into alignment very easily. So we're going to talk about goals, intentions, and how you can start to manifest what it is that you want. Okay? So our first step is connecting with our intuition. So my question for you is, we're going to keep this a very open discussion, but where do you feel your intuition in your body? So just go ahead and place your hand wherever you feel your knowing. So does anybody not feel their knowing? You guys all feel your knowing. Okay. So just place your hand where you feel your knowing. Okay? Sometimes you can feel it in multiple places. All right, cool. So most of you have your hands like on your gut. Some people have them in their heart, which is awesome. What I have found is the deepest level of intuition is actually moving from your head to your heart to your core, right? So each of these parts of us give us information. Our brain is very like linear. It looks at facts. It looks at just what is, right? Our heart tends to feel. So it opens to that unconditional love, and that space we probably work with clients, right? So if you guys have worked in the clinic or just your personal relationships, you're working in the heart space. What happens when you open to unconditional love is you actually create more energy that is a higher frequency than your mind. It's actually beyond facts. So it's like when you've fallen in love with somebody, you know how you get kind of like daisy in your head a little bit? It's because the love is taken over, right? So that's just an example of how your heart frequency is actually higher and actually has a higher intelligence than even your mind. So the key is to use what you know, filter it through your heart, and then drop into your knowing. So from your heart to your knowing, you just take it a step deeper. What I like to imagine is if you were to take a rock and drop it into the bottom of a lake, and it sinks all the way down through all the layers to the bottom, okay? And at that bottom, that's your core. That is where you feel your deepest connection to source, to universe, okay? So let's do that now. You guys ready for a little like connection? So go ahead and close your eyes. Take a nice deep breath in. And then just exhale any stress, any work, anything that had been going on before you got here. Take another deep breath in, and then just exhale relaxation. Take one more deep breath in, inhaling peace, and then exhaling love. So start to become aware of the room around you, the people here. And start to bring your awareness to your mind, to any thoughts that you may or may not be having, just to the awareness of where your mind is and what's going on there. What I'd like you to do is start to drop your awareness from your mind to your heart by allowing each thought that you may or may not have to meet with the love of your heart. So you just start to feel some spaciousness, your breath may even get deeper, and you just start to kind of relax into love. Opening your heart space, connecting with your own love, and from this love being able to extend it to others. Good. Now go ahead and drop your awareness into your core. So imagine that rock as if it was going into the bottom of a lake, sinking all the way down. So that rock from your heart all the way down to your core, just sinking down and connecting with your knowing. If you have a hard time connecting with your knowing, remember a time where you felt connected. You felt on top of the world. You felt energy moving through you. You felt the support. You felt the knowing of you. And when you feel that knowing, go ahead and place your hand on your gut. So a couple inches below your belly button is where your intuition is. And take a few breaths there and just kind of settle in. Settle into this knowing and notice the safety here, the safety within you that can never be taken from you, but it's always here. And it's really key to remind your clients and everybody you work with that they have this knowing, that they too can connect to their wisdom, their own inner wisdom. So whenever you're ready, you can open your eyes and just start to notice, take your time and just start to notice if you feel a little different. Maybe more grounded, maybe more connected. Can I just have a few people share with me their experience? Like, what was your experience of bringing your awareness inward and dropping down? So a release of tension and probably stress, right? Tension is usually energy building up. So you're releasing stuck energy. When we move into the light, to source energy, to anything that's connecting us to the greater whole, we're creating space, right? And when we create space, we let go, and then the energy flows, right? You guys know this. I know how the meridians work. Like, you get the energy, you get the chi flowing, right? So I love that you shared. I appreciate that, and that's very typical. You start moving into that expansiveness of your energy. Cool. So you felt the same sensation as when you were needling in your acupuncture of the chi moving. Yeah, and I just think it's so beautiful that we all have these different modalities that do the same thing, right? And so it's like, how are you finding your connection, right? Obviously, you have a huge call to be an acupuncturist or massage therapist or holistic health practitioner, whatever you are, right? And it's that energy that's connecting you to the whole, to other people, right? It's not like you just sit there and needle yourself, right? You have a service to give, right? So I believe this is where business comes in. This is why we create businesses. It allows us to have an exchange of energy that serves people, right? And money is just the exchange, but it's really the service behind that. It's our intention. And then we get to share our gift. Right? So you guys are all having this beautiful experience of being together at the school of awakening to your gifts and understanding how your mind, body, spirit works, right? So imagine having a business that supports that. Does anybody want that? Okay, raise your hand if you want a business that supports your gifts. Cool! Yay! You should all stay here. Okay. All right. So here's what I'm going to bring your attention to is there's a chart on your page that says success in business. This is a chart of CEOs who use their intuition. And you can see 81.5% of those that use it have a much higher growth profit. So they make a lot more money than the ones that don't. Okay? 80% to 25%. Like, that's pretty significant, right? So that means if you're listening to your knowing, which you just connected to, you're going to have a lot better results, both in your money and, of course, in your service, right? Because if you're tuned in, you're going to give the best service you possibly can. So keep this chart. This will help you click in because I know what it's like to start a business. You know, I was telling Angela I started when I was 19. I didn't really know what I was doing. I was like, I just loved people and had that overwhelming just joy. Have you guys had that where you just want to give from that place of abundance? And so from that place, I just moved into trust. And I had to trust my knowing because I didn't have a whole school. I was 19 years old. It was my life that I had to figure out, right? So I trusted the concept of the knowing. And what happened is the business grew from a practice to a wellness center to now a school. So I know it works. So I'm saying if you're like, I'm wondering if I'm needling in the right spot or what's going on, follow your intuition because it knows, right? And there's safety in that. There's confidence in that when you're with people. So I would really love if you guys could share a time where you've used intuition. Has anybody used their intuition in the past? I mean, I got a full ride scholarship to go to school, and the first semester I left and the dean was like, "You're crazy, you'll be back." And I was like, "No, I won't." And I never went back, right? And I don't think you should drop out of school, but it was just my calling not to be in school. So my point is follow your truth and it all will manifest. I promise you, it will. You just got to learn a few tools. All right, so it's helpful to follow your intuition in business because you're in alignment with your truth, right? If you're not in alignment with your truth, it's pretty hard to serve your people from a place of integrity, right? Okay. Does anybody else have any experience of, I'm sure you all do actually, is anybody willing to share? Yeah, I feel when you make a pretty big decision, you come from your intuition, right? Because otherwise it wouldn't feel in alignment because it's a big leap. You know, it'll say, you know, the amount of money and time that you invest in a decision like this. So that's when we always use it, usually, is the big decisions. But start to be aware if you can use it in the little decisions too, you know, and just let your life be easier. Go ahead. All right, so your example being that you use it, it's in the short term, the quick decisions. Like there's a car in front of you and you feel like you need to move, so you do, and then you see the accident and you missed it, right? All the time. I have students like that all the time. So it works the same, by the way. Big decisions or small decisions, it's the absolute same process. It's just head, heart, knowing. It's like the simplest thing, but the thing is most people don't follow it because they're afraid. I can't explain all of it. Sometimes people are afraid of the truth. It just is what it is. I don't know. To be able to harness it, yes. I mean, I teach classes in that. I'm happy to help you with that. And you want to just continue moving in to your knowing. Like it's really, there's really not much more you can do than know it, right? And continue going there. Okay? So just bring your focus there. Right? And when you're making a big decision, same thing. Head, heart, knowing. Did that answer it at all? Yeah. You're just super tuned in, so it's really fun to just keep listening to it. Yeah. Anybody want to share from the center? We got both sides. We'll move to the center, kind of balance it out. You guys know about balance. Come on, help me out. Let's go. It's kind of a journey following your intuition because you don't really know what's next. You just trust. Then you're like, wee, I hope so. And it does work out, but you just have to trust the whole time. Yeah, that's awesome. Yay, good for you. Okay, cool. So we're going to move to step 2, which is using your intuition with your intention. So we know what our intuition is. It's our knowing. It's our guidance. But we want to have an intention, right? Because we want to know how to use it. It's like, oh, I know that I know. Well, what do you want to use your knowing for? What's your intention? So I really feel it's a perfect marriage to have intuition and intention, right? They come together. So of course I'm going to ask you what your intention is. You knew that was coming. But what I really want to do is everybody stand up. We're going to step into a new space. So everybody step up for a minute. I know you might be eating, but it'll be there when you're done. And I want you to imagine a space in front of you. And as you step into space, so it can be a circle, it can be a square, it's just your space. And you're going to step into it. And as you do, you're going to step into your creator space. So you're going to step into being a creator in your life. So having personal control and responsibility of what it is that you're creating. So whenever you're ready, you're just going to take a step forward into being a creator, stepping into your power of being able to create. And as you do this, ask yourself from this place, what is it that I really want? And why do I want it? What is it that I really want, and why do I want it? And you may like to tune into your heart and drop into your knowing again, just to get the deepest level for this answer. Maybe that you want a business that supports what you do. Maybe that you have freedom and flexibility, the security to feel grounded and safe in your finances. Whatever it is for you, let your own words come. And then ask, what beliefs do I need to support this creation? Because we know our beliefs create our experience. So what do we need? What belief do I need? And what emotional resources, what feelings do I need to have around this creation? So maybe joy, love, bliss. And then see if there's any opposing beliefs that are in conflict. Like, I can't do it, I'm not worth it, whatever. See if there's anything like that. And if there's anything like that, which most people have them, go ahead and write them down on your piece of paper when you get back to your chair. But before you do that, ask yourself, how would you rather feel? So knowing those are there, ask yourself, how would you rather feel? All right, so I'm not going to ask you, because I don't want to put anybody on the spot, but I'm just going to show you how to release negative emotions or beliefs if they are stopping you. So we're all going to do it together, even if you don't have anything that's stopping you. I just would love for you to learn this because it'll be helpful down the road, I promise. So what this is called, it's called an anchor collapse. It's actually an NLP, which is a neuro-linguistic programming technique. And what it does is it reprograms your nervous system to actually work for you rather than against you. Our thoughts lead to an emotion. That emotion leads to an action. The action leads to results. Right? It's just the way it works. So if you fill in this square, basically you want to make like a little, I don't know if you could see it, just like 3 lines. You're going to divide it up into 3 pieces of pie. Okay? And you're going to write IC at the top, IS to the left, and EB in the bottom. And I'll tell you what they mean. I know. So IC is internal computations. This is NLP language. It is a different language, I guess. Internal computations, thoughts. So you can write in parentheses thoughts. These are your thoughts. Internal state is your emotion. External behavior is your behavior, how you are manifesting it. So around that circle, you want to draw another circle and write beliefs, because your beliefs are housing all of this. Whatever you believe is supporting all of your thoughts, emotions, and your behavior. That's why the belief level is the absolute deepest level you can affect anything at, besides intuition. Your intuition is your knowing, then there's the belief, then there's the emotions, and then there's the thoughts, actually. Okay? And then the box just represents the context. So the specific situation where you would have this interaction. Okay? So let's just reflect on your own self. Can you feel how when you have a thought, it affects your emotional state, and that in turn affects your behavior? Can you feel that? So what if you just came to work one day and you just felt really depressed? Like you just had this pit in your stomach and you just felt really depressed. What would you do? Knowing that there's a whole pie and there's one part of the pie that's feeling a little bit off. What would you do? Anybody want to take a guess?
Alter the other two? Yeah.
Exactly. Alter the other two. So if we know that thought creates the emotion creates the action, that creates the result, we got to go back to the thought level. Well, what did I wake up telling myself this morning? I hate my life. Okay, that probably would lead to a depressing thought, right? How about a thought of, I'm so grateful to be alive? Will automatically lead to a different emotion. You have the different emotion, you're now going to have a new belief. Oh, life is good. I changed my thought and my emotion. Life's okay. Cool. And then you'll probably have a good result that day because you're in a good vibe and the energy is going to create that. So it's very simple yet very profound, and it really gives us personal responsibility over our lives, right? Because if we feel funky, we know we can shift the thought. Or if we have a negative thought, we know we can switch the emotion. Or if we have an action we don't like, we know we can change the action. And instead of getting up at 6, get up at 8 if you need the extra sleep. I don't know what's making you grouchy, but it's like whatever it is, change the element of the pie, and it will change the whole. Okay? So this NLP process is a lot of what I teach, because we have to align our mind with our heart to even get to our heart. Otherwise, it's going to continue blocking it. Right? So if we have this big open heart and we're like, I hate my life, my parents didn't love me, it's like all over here, right? You can't really move into the unconditional love. So we clear it through the mind, and then we open the heart, drop into the knowing. Okay? So this is just for your reference, and then what I want to do in this technique that I'm going to show you is have you connect with any part of you that doesn't feel 100%. So this would be the emotional resource, so the EB, or not the EB, the internal state. So this would be an emotional part of you that's blocking you. So remember I asked you, what's the belief, what's the resources? So we're going to go at the emotional level just to do a state change. Okay, so state change means shifting the emotional component of the pie. So let's just say, for example, since we're on depression, I'm not sure why that's coming up, but we'll use that. So say you feel super depressed. You're like, I want to start my practice, but I just feel really depressed. I just don't think I can do it, and maybe it's just coming from a lack place. So what you're going to want to do, and everybody do this for their own emotion, and if you don't have one, make one up, just so you can experience it, okay? So you would ask either yourself or whoever you're working with to place your hand on the area of your body where you feel that. So let's just say I feel it like right above my intuition. Okay, so I'm going to place it on my belly. This is where I feel depression. Okay. All right, I'm going to hold it for 3 seconds. And then I'm going to release. So what that's doing is it's activating your brain and saying, brain, listen, this is what depression feels like. So every time you're touching this place, your brain remembers this is what depression feels like, because you're thinking of it and you're triggering it. Similar to Pavlov's dog dish, when he sees the dog dish and he knows it's time to eat, it's the unconscious response that the brain sees something and knows what it means. And so it fires off that chemical response to your body. So if you have depression here and you let it go, then you're going to want to do a state change. So you're going to want to do a dance. You're going to want to do something to get yourself out of it, because you don't want to feel it anymore. Okay? Then you're going to say, what would I rather feel? I'd rather feel joy. Okay, awesome. Where do you feel joy? oh, I feel joy in my heart, or where did you experience joy? When was the last time you experienced it? You can feel my whole physiology change, right? Like I'm very much in the energy of it. So you're going to do the same thing. You're going to hold your hand on a different area of the body for 3 seconds. What this does is it triggers again the brain. This is how I feel, okay? Then you're going to take joy into the depression. So you're going to first trigger joy, and then you're going to place your hand on the same spot where you had depression, and you're going to let the joy overpower the depression. And what will happen is that will start to just vaporize. It'll start to just move out of your system, and you won't even feel the depression. The way you can test this is you can place your hand back on the depression and see if you feel joy or depression. And do it until you feel joy, because you will know you've done it correctly when you feel joy. Okay? So the brain is like a computer, you guys. We just have to use it for our benefit. And if we reprogram it in this way, it will work for us rather than dragging all these emotions that don't work. Okay? Go ahead and let's just drop into your knowing. So go ahead and bring your awareness from your head to your heart to your knowing. Connect with the part of you that has been stopping you. So some belief or thought or emotion has been stopping you. Ask yourself what it is and ask for the feeling that's attached to it. How does it make you feel? Maybe constricted, restricted, I don't know. Whatever it is, depression, whatever it is. And as you're feeling that, go ahead and place your hand on your body wherever you feel this feeling the strongest. And just hold it there for 3 seconds. And then go ahead and release it. Okay? And now just do a state change so you can like move around in your chair. Just do whatever you need to do to kind of shake that off. You know, just kind of, we're done with that. Okay? Good. You guys are awesome. Such good students. Okay. So now we're going to say, how would you rather feel? So you can say, what belief would I rather have? How would I rather feel? What's my new experience? And whatever your new experience is, ask what's the feeling behind it. So maybe you want to feel joy. Maybe you want to feel peace or happiness. So find whatever the word is that you want to feel. And I'm going to ask you a few questions. If happiness were an image, so whatever your word is, happiness were an image, what would it be? And let a thought come to you. If happiness was a sound, what would it sound like? If happiness was a feeling, if it was soft or light or heavy, what would it feel like? If happiness was a taste, what would it taste like? And if happiness was a color, what color would it be? And allow whatever your feeling is, whether it's happiness or something else, fill your entire being and place your hand wherever you feel it most, whatever this feeling is. So if it's happiness, place your hand wherever you feel it. For me, I feel it on my heart. So I'm just going to place my hand, on my heart and feel that happiness. You can also remember a time that you felt the happiness or the positive emotion. And start to really amp up this feeling. So you're going to take it from head to toe and you're going to spin it really fast. From head to toe. Just really allow yourself to be immersed and infused with this energy, this positive energy. And as you do, go ahead and take your opposite hand and place it on the first anchor, the negative emotion, and allow this positive energy to consume the negative. Allow it to overtake it. And just notice how that negative just kind of drops away, because the power of the affirmative thought is much stronger than the negative. And whenever you feel complete, you can open your eyes. So our question was, what happens if your conflict, so the negative belief, is in the same spot as your knowing? I love that question because I've actually learned this just recently, because I'd be like, my knowing says this, but there's some energy on top of that, and it's really irritating me because it's in the same place as my knowing, right? So what you want to do is identify the difference. They will feel different. Your knowing will feel like your knowing. The belief will feel like your belief. So what you want to do is connect with your knowing. If it's in the same physical spot, connect to the feeling through an image. So you can say, my knowing feels like a tree. And so it's totally rooted. So I'm going to bring the energy, I'm going to look at that tree or visualize a tree, which holds the energy, it contains the energy of my knowing, and I'm going to allow that tree to live on the grass, which is overtaking the grass or something, right? Which is like maybe the trunk of, I don't know, the tree, the negative. So what's a metaphor for your negative? So if the tree is your knowing, what would be a metaphor for your negative emotion?
Storm.
A storm? Okay. So that's pretty big. Okay. So your storm's big and there's a tree sitting in your knowing. Okay, so what's important is you get the feeling. So you can actually anchor it somewhere else. So go ahead and see the tree and feel your knowing, and I want you to place it on your hand. Just place that feeling on your hand. So just connect with the knowing. And just let it get bigger and bigger. Let it get as big as a storm would be. Let it get as big as you want it to be. And I would recommend it being infinitely large. Good, you got it? Okay, go ahead and release that. Okay, now feel the storm or feel the negative, wherever the negative, and you can anchor it close but not on the same spot. So you see what we're doing? We're telling the brain, hey, it's too close here, so we're going to re-anchor it here. But we just have the feeling. As long as you have the feeling, you're tapping into the energy. So let's find the negative. So the negative's the storm or whatever it is. Anchor it somewhere close where you can do it at the same time. So both hands. So if you anchored here, you want to maybe anchor here. Okay? So go ahead and do that now. So go ahead and find the negative. Okay? And then go ahead and release it. Do a little dance. I don't like having negative energy around. Okay? And then what we're going to do is we're going to take the knowing. So go ahead and make sure, no, that's the negative.
No, the negative's here.
Okay, make sure, because I saw 3 hands before here. You have to make sure you have it in the exact same spot. Do you feel your knowing? As long as you feel it, we're good. You just, okay. Now as you feel that knowing, go ahead and make it bigger and brighter. Spin it from head to toe. Allow it to extend out from your field and just grow with the universe. So it's just huge. Your knowing just encompasses everything. Now take this feeling of your knowing, and as you're holding that down, go ahead and place your finger on the negative, wherever it was. Might have been a little bit down. You got it? Mm-hmm. And just let it sit there for a couple seconds. And let it just overtake the negative. And then whenever you feel complete, go ahead and release it. When you feel that negative energy gone. How you feeling?
That was fun. I like that.
Yeah. So I did a class up in Orange County area, and this woman, she had a bunch of rabbits or something in her backyard, and she was just so fed up with them, and she was just so irritated. So I taught her this technique, and she basically moved from irritation to peace. And so as she did it, she moved into a peaceful place, and all the rabbits that were eating her yard or whatever were gone the next day. She's like, they've never been back. And I was like, I know, because you changed your energy. So it's very powerful. You are changing your energy, and you will affect it beyond you, right? So when you just did that, you're actually rippling, peace or whatever it is that you're knowing, you're rippling that into the universe, and you're going to get experiences of your knowing, of confirmation of that. This also works in forgiveness processes. So if you have a grudge against somebody, you can actually shift the energy to clear the anger or the negativity and move into unconditional love. And then I've had students, people they haven't talked to for 10 years, calling them the next day, right? So it happens fast. So I'm just giving you some examples so you really believe it, know that it works, and it's really awesome. Okay, so I want you guys to be able to use this tool in your practice. So before you're working with somebody, before you're taking a test, if you guys have anxiety, find where the anxiety is. Anchor it, release it, find how you'd rather feel, trigger the rather you feel, and really amp it up big time, and then fire off your negative. And you will go in feeling really, really, really good. I actually got my massage license, and this is what I used for the national certification. I don't know if they have it anymore, but I was like, you gotta be kidding me, I'm not a test taker, I left school. So I was like, and it worked. So you have to use it in the context or the situations that you need it, right? Where else do you think you could use it? If you're starting a business, do you think you're going to want to feel calm and peace and confident if people are starting to come see you as their counselor and their therapist or their acupuncturist, whatever it is that you're doing for them? You can play multiple roles, right? So really use it. and email me your results. It'll be fabulous. You can either write it on this page or the page before. I just want you to have somewhere what your creation is, how you felt, and what's your intention, right? So if you want to move to page 4, just write, what did you see for yourself? So as you stepped into your creation, what did you see? This is actually very important for you to write, because what happens is the brain's very visual. It's like a pictures speak 1,000 words, right? So when it sees an image, it says, oh, this is what he or she wants. I'm going to go for it. And it activates the reticular activating system, your unconscious mind, your higher self. It activates all these energy centers, and they start to work for you. But the brain needs to know, where am I going? I'm in San Diego and I need to go to Las Vegas. Where's Las Vegas? You have to show me what it looks like so I know how to get there. You have to show me on a map where it is. Okay? So just write down, what did you see for yourself? What did you feel? And then we'll move to the next two. So what did you see for yourself? What did you feel? So you may need to step back into your creation, and you can do this without standing up. You can just do it in your mind, and you can say, how do I feel? Now that I've let this negative go, how do I feel in my creation of it? Okay. So step into your creation with the positive feelings and positive beliefs. This is really important, because your brain will always make the best choice possible. If you give it a new choice of a positive emotion and positive belief, it will follow it. If you continue in the old, it will default to it. You're giving your brain a new choice. Make the right choice feel good. All right? Okay. And then what is your intention and what are your goals? So your intention could sound something like to serve people and increase intuitive awareness. That's my intention. What's your goal? Your goal is specific. Is I want a certain amount of people in this workshop, or I want a certain amount of clients. Do you hear the difference? Intention is very broad. It's similar to your purpose in the sense that you're just energetically putting something out. A goal is very specific. So imagine you stepping into your practice or whatever creation you are doing. What is your intention? Is it just to help people? Is it to feel good? What is it? And then what are your specific goals? So how many people do you feel like you want to be working with? And you can just write a number down for now. It can always change. Does anybody want to share their creation? Because when you speak it, it does make it, it's almost like it holds you accountable. Have you ever noticed that? Like when you share it out loud, you're like, oh, well, I told that whole class that I was going to open a wellness center, so I think I have to, right? And things change. Everything's flexible. It does create a certain amount of solidity and confidence for yourself. Does anybody want to share what their creation is, what they're thinking of creating? You want to see 15 patients every week. Awesome.
On Tuesdays.
On Tuesdays?
Yeah, just one day.
Oh. Can I bring up one more point really quick? There's a thing in NLP called well-formed outcome, which means how does it affect the other areas of your life? So you may want to look at, is it balanced to have 15 in one day?
I do it some days. I just am not always fully booked on Tuesdays. So I'd like to be fully booked at the beginning.
Do you want to know why? It's because the universe doesn't want you to work that much. You need to balance. You don't need to. So it's trying to tell you something, right? So I mean, Angela knows I just got back from Thailand. I was like, I want to be free falling. I'm going to let it all go. So I let my house go in La Jolla, and I was like, it's so fun. And then I come back thinking it's going to be all recreated. I was like, oh no, I have to create that well-formed outcome. I should have thought about that if I really wanted to let go of everything before I left. Clearly I did, but it taught me a lesson of well-formed outcome. Are you going to let everything else go, or are you going to work just one day and make your body exhausted so you're not even happy the next day? Not saying that's you, but that's a possibility. Or are you going to have a well-formed outcome which says, how does it affect other areas of my life? And am I willing to give myself what I need to feel really good? Right? And maybe there's another area of my life that could adjust. And so I could create both. You do not have to share them. I'm not going to make you share them. But I would say look at them and be aware of them and share them with yourself. Because the more you nurture them, it's like planting a seed and watering it, the more it grows. Like each time you think about it and visualize it and attach the positive emotion with it, not the negative, the positive, it will grow. It's like watering it. You know, it's like, when I first started, I had this vision of a wellness center, and it manifested 5 years later, but it happens. So you just have to trust that the more you focus on it, the more it expands. And wouldn't you rather focus on that than something else? I would. It's pretty positive. You know, it feels good and it helps a lot of people. So there you go. So this is for you to keep so you can look at it. And then the last step is, what steps do you need to take today? So looking at your vision and your goals and your intentions, what steps do I need to take today? And go ahead and fill that in now. It's the first question about the middle of the page. What do I need to take today? Anything else I need to let go of? What's stopping me from already having it now, and what support do I need? So go ahead. These are really important questions when you think, like, what action do I need to take? Because if you don't take any action, then nothing's going to change. Right? And it's part of the pie. It's just part of it. You'll naturally take some action. It's what action are you taking? Is it moving you towards your goals or away from your goals? You did one towards your goals. Yay! Right? What do I need to let go of? Is there anything else that you just need to let go of? Write it down and just ask that it be released. Right? And become aware of it. You'll get the tools. You have one today, the anchoring process, and you'll keep learning as you follow your intuition. What's stopping me from moving forward? This is usually a belief. So same thing, just write it down, trust your intuition to guide you to whatever the next step is to release it. Okay? And what support do I need? So do you need a friend? Do you need a coach? Do you need a class? Do you need nature? What do you need? And see what comes. Your intuition will tell you. Okay? So if you want to move to the last page of your packet, you'll actually see a highest potential discovery session. This is something I do before any client session. I work with a lot of different business owners. So I help them take their business to the next level. We usually increase income two to four times. Usually 2, but a lot of times 4 if they're ready for it. And so this is an opportunity for you to get to learn how to use intuition in your potential business, your goal, your creation, and also to get any other insight you need about your life. So if you want me to work with you, I actually am available at this time. Sometimes we have our staff that does it, but I'm available right now because I just got back a couple of months ago, so I still have some time. You can fill in your information here. It's just your name, your phone number, and email, and I will contact you and we can do a 30-minute free session. And it's basically just showing you how you can use it and apply it for your life. And then if you want to take any steps with me, you're always welcome. I have a certification school where we teach intuition and business development, and it allows you to basically enhance your gifts and monetize them.